Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. All right. Enough silliness, for God's sake. Welcome into the Eric St. Show podcast. You're like, easy, where's the theme? Well, it would come as no surprise that there's a technological issue. Good morning to each and every one of you. I can't even talk. What the hell is my problem? Show originates in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports, a beacon of amazing fun in beautiful Rockford, Michigan, along 14 Mile Road. You can find them at impactpowersportsmi.com. Good group over there. Thank you so much. You can go to the website and check out all different types of ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, e-bikes, Yamaha golf carts. Not to mention a fantastic service department if you need any work done on your fun thing that you ride around and get dirty in. Dear Meathead with my beloved dad happens today. In, only about 24 minutes because I'm starting so damn late today. I apologize for that. It's been kind of crazy this week because Pooh Bear went back to school, like full-time. Like it was just part-time last week. And so that's kind of messed me up. And it's excuses is what this is. So, yeah, there you go. If you want to reach out, you have I have an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, on the Shoreliners striping inbox. There they are right there. Shoreliners. And send me an email if you have a question for Dad. He would love to hear from you. eric@ericzaneshow.com. Darla there, kind of chilling out. Got to get her in the camera shot. Thank you so much for being here. I got one question in the hopper for Dad. I'm not I've been having a real a feeling that I can't escape, and that is that I think, I don't know, this whole business about Dear Meathead, I think he's starting to forget even that he does it. And I don't know. I can't help but think that it might be time to let this go. I'm starting to feel like his mind has gotten to a point at 90 years old that my dad might be like, I mean, I don't really know how to put this into words. But I wanted to make sure that he wasn't at a spot where he was ever, like, completely out of sorts. I don't want to say he's embarrassed because I don't know if he has that idea. But I don't know. I can't shake it. It doesn't want to leave my brain. I think it's not this week. I mean, obviously, I can keep this going. And it's totally cool, but I don't know, one of those things. I'm looking to see if Ryan is in the chat. Ryan W. He said to me, "Easy, I might need to talk to you at some point today." Maureen says, "You just want to protect him. We love Meathead and understand if things need to change. Totally get it." Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Maureen says, "Listen to your heart, Eric. You'll know when to be done with it." Jeremy says, "I think he appreciates hearing from you while he's hearing from you. He may not remember it afterwards, but he gets joy out of hearing from you." Absolutely true. Joanne writes to me as we speak, "Our electricity is out." Hold on a second. Let me get Joanne on here. It's my beloved mother-in-law. She told me the electricity is up.
Hello?
Hey, honey, how are you?
We're good. Our electricity is out, though.
Do you think I should call on this phone, or should we just wait?
I think you should wait, honey.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Because the phone's charge is getting low.
Okay, no problem at all, my dear. Sorry that you lost your power. I'll be back in touch.
Okay, Jim Marquis on it for us, so
I
we'll
love
see
him.
what happens.
That's good having a person who works for the power company.
Yes. Okay, honey.
Okay, see ya.
I love you too.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, problem solved. I didn't even want to see it was a problem. You see, they live in Detroit, and Detroit's a shithole when it comes to the power grid. Around here, everything's buried in the ground. We don't lose power. I titled this podcast, Enter KiddChris. This was very unexpected for me. But it is a big deal. It's an unexpected big deal to me. As soon as I saw that I got an email from a person named KiddChris, I was like, what? I've never spoken to KiddChris in my life. Some of you know KiddChris, but not all of you. KiddChris is a famous radio person. Bob says, uh-oh, what did KiddChris do now? Well, he supported me. Out of the blue, I get an email. Hey, Eric. Subject line, hey, EZ. Hey, Eric, I'm a radio host in Cincinnati, and a friend turned me on to your story and your reinvention going from radio into the podcasting game. Pardon me. Told me about your hustle to stay alive and relevant. It's really impressive what you have built. Huge props to you. Nice work. Signed, KiddChris. I'm like, holy fuck. So some of you are like, who the hell is KiddChris? Well, KiddChris is... he's been on in Cincinnati, Ohio since about 2012. And he has been, he's the longest running morning show host in Cincinnati on legendary radio station WEBN. And he's been on some big radio stations in some very big markets over the years. WISP in Philadelphia. He was on in San Antonio. He made pals with Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony, because he was doing prank calls and shit like that, and he would send them into them, and he was a big hit. And I think he might have participated in Howard Stern's network, or was that Bubba? I don't know. So he's a very, very big name in radio. And, I mean, when you're doing what I'm doing, it's very easy at times to think that you're in a process of stagnation, you know, like you're not growing, or you're not improving, or you're not. So when that happened, when he reached out to me and said that, I mean, I wrote back to him immediately, and I was very appreciative. The guy did not have to do that. That is, honestly, this is one of the nicer things that has ever been done to me in this industry, for an unsolicited person who has no idea who the fuck I am to just reach out. Someone who's very, very accomplished in this industry, in radio. That's unfucking believable. It's unheard of. So cool. I wrote, fuck yes, KiddChris. I know exactly who you are. You're a goddamn legend, and I'm excited as fuck that you reached out to me. It's been a lot of work, but I'm energized every day. I really appreciate this. It's moments like this that put wind in my sails. Thank you so much, and let's stay in touch. Signed, Easy. So I'm like, fucking A. Stevie says maybe he hates Greg, too. Boy, I don't know. Chris says you never know what a compliment or some encouragement can do for someone. You're not kidding. I mean, I never really get down for any more than an hour or two at a time, if I ever get down. And so, but I just consider it to be quite a blessing for a person to come out of the woodwork and do something as nice as that. So then I went and checked out his show, and I hadn't listened before. But this is like if you were to look up KiddChris, Kidd Chris, CHRIS, and check out his podcast. It's the audio from a radio show. And he still plays music, but he does it, and it's still a lot of fun and fun to listen to be sure. I mean, I was entertained. There's not a dull moment in his show. He has a nice rapport with the other people that are on. You got a lady doing the sports and the news, and yeah, I think her name is Sarah. And but the episode I was listening to, just by chance, he started to talk about radio people who podcast, or former people who were in radio and then they started podcasting. And I don't know, maybe that got the bug in his ear, or what, I have no idea. But the timing was impeccable because it went literally from me reading that email to, oh, well, let's check out this show. And I clicked one from a couple days ago, and in it, he's actually discussing radio people that are getting into podcasting. And he made some comment that was not flattering. Not about me, but about radio people who do podcasts. And I'm like, oh, no. He's going to follow up with, like, take this piece of shit. This guy fucking sucks. And then I'm like, oh, no, he's fucking punking me. God damn it. So in my mind, I'm like, please don't mention me. Please don't mention me. Fuck, no, don't do it. Please. Oh, my God. And he didn't, thank God. But then I'm like, I'm listening with rabbit ears. I'm waiting for him to go back. So earlier I was talking about radio people who do podcasts, who got out of radio doing podcasts. Look at this piece of shit. This guy sucks dick. I'm like, oh, no. But no, nothing like that. Chris says, I wonder if he's looking at his next move or something to do in the future. Well, let's put it this way. Well, I have no idea. But for people that are in radio that have a big footprint, I combined big and foot to give you boog. A big footprint, like in his case, Cincinnati and other markets that he's been in. If he did do that, he'd be able to make a pretty fair amount of money. I guess it all depends on how much a person puts in place in terms of expenses. I obviously run with the only expense I have is meager equipment costs and my time. Outside of what I pay Ben to do the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, and that's not a huge expense, and Tag Accounting to do the payroll, that's about it. Not a lot of expense. But if any person, like in his case, if he just decided to do something that was carbon copy of this, open up a mic, look into a camera, talk for a couple hours a day, if he could pull that off, he could make a lot of money. I would say year one, $300,000 minimum. But he'd have to go out and get some ads. That's the key. You don't get the ads. You can't rely on podcast networks. You can't rely on, when you post your podcast, the platform will attach those ads that you hear from like major companies. You get a pittance for those. It's not a ton of money. And Patreon is, for me, the thing that did it was Patreon and my sponsors. The sponsors being the biggest contributor to keeping the lights on and the AC running in the Eric Zane Show podcast household. But it's just interesting to me when people come out of the woodwork like that. I was very, very appreciative, and I hope to be able to communicate some more with them as time goes on. I've oftentimes, though, threw it out there that if there's ever a radio person that has the rug pulled out from under them I am wide open. I will help anybody get this started. I did that to dude in Winnipeg. The fuck is his name again? Oh, God. That's not because I forgot it. It's just because, well, I did forget it, but Tyler Glenn, God damn it, in Winnipeg. And I will help anybody get this started because once you can, get a foothold, just spread that love to the next person. Speaking of love, it is a labor of love that we have here with my beloved brother-in-law, the NFK. Now, he's been talked about a lot today, or this week, I should say. As Kenny has a comment, what about if that guy in radio that you replaced twice before on the radio, Michael Gray? I think if Michael Gray and I had a conversation, that if he were polite and he bent the knee and said sorry for attacking me when I got fired from BBL, I would honor that. I would forgive him for his insolence. I don't know why he had a bone to pick with me. I didn't go in and say, hey, hire me and fire Michael Gray. Both times that Michael Gray was fired and replaced with me, I didn't do it. They reached out to me. It's not my fault that WGRD banged on my door and said, we need you in Grand Rapids. It's your fault. You were doing a horrible job. And then you wandered over to BBL, more ratings poison. And when the opportunity came for me to be available, excuse the fuck out of me that I'm much better at this than you are. It's a damn good thing you wandered off to a place no one wants to go to do radio, which is somewhere in Montana. Chris says, shave the goatee and delete the karma post equals bend the knee. Hey, friends, it's your old pal EZ with my latest and greatest marketing partner, Mint Mobile. I know a lot of you have been through the ringer when it comes to costs with big wireless. As you know, what you see is never what you get. You ever have that happen where you get in there and you're like, okay, they're like, you're going to get this, this, and this, and this, and then you pay us this. And you go, oh, yeah. And then, like, you get the bill and you're like, what the hell just happened? It's like bait and switch. And then you call in and you realize that you're screwed. So you're like, oh, my God, I might as well just keep overpaying for this. Never again. Enter Mint Mobile. You never have to worry about the gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month, when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. I've done this. You should too. Say bye-bye to the overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to the rescue with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. My God! To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Zane. mintmobile.com/Zane. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month and give the other guys the big heave-ho. mintmobile.com/Zane. All right, fine print time. $45 upfront payment required. That's equivalent to the $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower above 40 gigs on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. He's horrible. Once he did that, I would help him get a podcast off the ground. Ben Glaze is lobbying for your old pal EZ to start the Eric Zane Show Podcast Network, a stable of shows under the umbrella of the Eric Zane Show Podcast. Excuse me. I don't know what the fuck my problem is today. And that is such a different animal. The administrative chores that would need to take place to do that are really challenging, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's completely out of the question, but my bread is buttered with a microphone and a camera, and that is all. More shows does mean more people paying attention, more people listening, more money to be made. But it's also a stretch on the time that is already stretched unbelievably thin. Almost too thin, just the way it is right now. So that, to me, is the big thing that stands out is I don't know if I can take that jump. The time to build that. There's also costs involved. These talents need to be paid. I don't want to ask anybody to do something unless they can actually be paid for it. Chris says that the shower would never get cleaned. You're absolutely right. Now, there's a couple ways to come up with to do this to make the work minimal, but it requires, again, more time to put it in place. Once it gets up and running, that's an entirely possible thing, but I don't know if I want to do it right now. I want to go fucking camping. All right? I got hockey season coming up. I got basketball season coming up. Joe says you could hire some former Bosco waitresses to run social media for the EZ Podcast Network. Megan says, I want to go camping in a brand new broken RV. No time. I went to the RV dealership yesterday for another pick up the RV moment. I will say this. When I was leaving, I said to my guy who works there, Tyler, I go, okay, I'm taking it for the weekend. I'll see you Tuesday. Implying it's coming back, busted. I went back there yesterday, and there was a nice lady at the service desk. And she goes, hello, are you picking up? I go, I am. She goes, okay, let me get Tyler. Then she comes back and she goes, I want you to know that when you came in here the first time, I had no idea whatever happened to you. So I checked out your podcast. And now on this podcast of mine, I have been talking a lot about my tales with the motorhome. So I'm like, oh boy. It was one of those weird moments again. She likes it though. I don't want to say her name or anything like that. Anyway, I wandered over and I sit down with this dude and he starts talking to me about what's up. All right, it's all fixed, easy, blah, 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 blah. They've done everything right. You know, I don't want to, after all the things that I've been through, I still don't really blame the dealership at all. I don't. Honest to God. There are some workmanship issues with the manufacturer that is not related to the dealer. They are doing the best they can. They kind of rolled out the red carpet for me yesterday. This is what they did to get that generator to work. So it's a brand new generator. The first day I got it, I turned it on. It quit. They needed to rebuild the carburetor. They needed to put in a new fuel pump. And I'm like, what? That fucking thing is brand new. How could it possibly fucking be? There's something wrong with it. They go, I don't know. They changed all that. And then it's like problem after problem. It kept crapping out on me. They ended up figuring it out, and they went ahead and actually to test it, turned on all the air conditioners, plugged in a space heater so it draws as much power off that generator. And then they drove it around Michigan. I'm not even kidding you. They drove it around for like 3 hours. It worked. Fine. So I go, all right, I believe you. I believe you. And then I said, look, I've had this thing in the shop this summer for 40 days. That's a lot of time. I've driven back here to and fro. I've put on many, many miles coming all the way down here several times. You having to drive it around for hours. I mean, that all it takes some of the life out of the thing. How is this going to translate into something for me right now? So I'm sticking my hand out now. Pay me. Now, dude who runs the dealership says to me, he made a comment about, well, you know, and blah, 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 this under warranty, this not under warranty. And I'm like, whoa. I didn't do this, but I'm like, hold on a minute here. Don't even suggest that what is happening here right now is in some way you or the manufacturer is not responsible for. Bullshit. It's all written down. And if it's not on there, you're definitely going to want to do this anyway. Because the last thing you want is a pissed off customer, especially one that's on a podcast. So he throws in that comment, but he kind of like snuck it in. And then before I even had a chance to react, he goes, but all we want is the customer happy. So we're coming. He said, I'm talking with the manufacturer about what we can do for you. And I'm like, okay. All right, I'm not really sure what you guys mean by that. And I go, well, what do you think? He goes, well, we don't know. I mean, it could be a $500 shopping spree in the store here, which would work. I said, I'm open to anything, but I've spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of money on a piece of equipment that cost a ton of money that hasn't worked once. I haven't been anywhere with this fucking thing, and it worked once. Not once. So at the end of the day, give me something. Okay? Substantial. Make me whole. Whole. So I wait. If they did give me a big shopping spree, I think that would work. He even threw out $500 shopping spree. And I'm like, fuck yes. That would do it. They also, in repairing it, they changed the oil on the generator, and they washed it and waxed it. That's like $300. And then they filled up the gas tank. I'm like, well, of course you're going to fill up the gas tank. You're the one who drove it all around. So now, it's in my driveway right now. I've loaded it up with my water, my fuel. It's got, and they filled up the propane too. That's not cheap. It holds a lot of propane. I've got it packed. Tomorrow, I get done with the podcast. I take off these headphones. I get in the motorhome. I back out of the driveway, and I'm fucking gone. Hopefully, with the first trip where we don't have a goddamn problem with the motorhome. Brand new. Rebecca says you should poop in it before you go on vacation just to make sure it works. Pooh Bear did. I try not to go poo in that thing. Kenny says, I'll take that bet. Yeah, place your bets. You can, I don't know how you're going to collect. Will I come back with nothing wrong with the RV? Let me, as quickly as I can, go over the problems. And I'm picturing the front of the RV all the way to the back. Let's start with the exterior. Hood wouldn't close. 2 spots need to be painted. The leveler was busted. The automatic leveler. The molding was falling off outside around the wheel wells. Ripped couch. 2 cabinet doors. The glass fell out of the cabinet doors. The drawer that you open to put your clothes in, the bottom ripped off of it. You know, you have like the drawer bottom. It just broke. Molding on the ceiling. Toilet won't flush. Shower leaks. The leak caused damage to the wall. The leak caused damage to the door. The roof leaks through the air conditioner. All the water that poured into the roof destroyed one of the lights. You know, like when you push a button and the side goes out? The slide out? The motor for that had to be replaced. What am I forgetting? Oh, the generator times 3. What else? Oh, I put the couch in. Did I put the couch in? I don't think I did. No, I did. Rip couch. AC in the dash. God damn. Look at that list. Still don't know why you bought an RV by Boeing. Jeremy says Vegas has moved the line already. You're up to under 9.5 RV problems on Tuesday. You'd be better telling us what does work. TVs work. Motor works. Motor runs well. God damn. So it is partially Ford, partially the manufacturer of the RV body, Cummins for the generator. Holy fuck. Yeah, that's what they tell you at the dealership. You, hey, what's up? Well, we got all these things, blah, 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 and they all come together. And I'm like, look, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. The manufacturer needs a quality control dude to go through and make and fucking look through. Check. That's your goddamn job. How am I explaining this to you? Before it rolls off the line, you have some fuckface go through and look over every inch of this goddamn piece of machinery that you're asking somebody to pay a lot of money for. You can't just go, fuck it. Come on. All right. They had someone do that checklist at the end of the day on a Friday, Kenny writes. I will say this. I have an update because as we do head out, Joe Martinez, our Mexican pal, says all those white peoples. You know, you're right. If we had some Mexicans doing the quality control, you know how much better this place would be? I just don't understand it. I heard Trump talking about he's going to deport 2.5 Mexicans when he wins. It's like, God damn it. Are you crazy? That is not a problem. 2.5 illegal Mexicans is not a problem. That is an asset. Who's going to do all these fucking jobs that require skill and patience if you kick them all out? Son of a bitch. I see so much opportunity with my Mexican sisters and brothers coming in. Thought I was supposed to hear from Trump at some point today. His secretary reached out to me and said, look, Trump is supposedly going to call. So the NFK, my wife's brother-in-law, I was starting to talk about this, that, we're getting prepared for the trip up north. And I said to Diane, I go, we got to take him. He hasn't been up north once. He likes going up north. And she's like, I'm like, no, this is really special for him. He's looking forward to it, and let's just take him up. So I invite him. And I go, hey, buddy, we're going up north. Okay, cool. And then I tell him there's going to be some friends up there, family members. Now, at that point, I'm thinking maybe he is going to back out. Because typically, he doesn't like being around people because, as I told you, he's afraid he's going to say, in his words, the word cock. Because he swears all the fucking time. Sure enough, he has changed his mind. He says, I think I'll just stay home and take care of the cats. Now, I don't mind if he goes at all. He's part of the family. You can sit there and bitch all you want, but he's part of the family. He's probably going to outlive Pooh Bear and I. This is going to be his place. Can you imagine if he outlives Pooh Bear and I and this becomes his house? I mean, the first thing he's going to do is put his hand up his asshole and wipe as much feces on the walls as possible. That is a guarantee. Megan says, can you do the podcast if you go first? Yeah, I could teach him how to do it. He could carry on with the sponsors and all you guys. And we'd just call it the Shit Fuck Podcast. And that would be the end of it. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.